My name is Mark. Although it's not a problem now that I'm working, I had a really tough life as a student. The reason is that I got a job right after graduating from high school, but since I went to a prep school, everyone else went to college. My family ran a business, so from the time I entered high school, I had decided to work for the family company after graduation. Everyone around me knew that, so I often got teased about it. Everyone was aiming for a decent college, so I think they looked down on me for planning to work right after high school. Even so, I had already made up my mind, so no matter what people said, I tried not to let it bother me. You're going to get a job instead of going to college, right? No one else in this school is doing that. Well, I guess you don't have the brains to go to college anyway. I never planned to take the entrance exams. I don't know if I'm smart or not, but it's not about that. I just want to start working at my family's company as soon as possible. By the way, I'm planning to apply to Harvard, so don't compare me to someone like you. I wouldn't compare you even if you didn't say that. You actually want to go to college, right? But you're too dumb to get in, so you're just choosing to work at your family's company instead. Aren't you? I've said since I was a kid that I'd work at my family's company after high school. So, regardless of my academic ability, that's what I plan to do. I can see right through you, so there's no need to act tough. Deep down, you must be envious of someone like me. A genius like me can see it all. That's really not the case. You don't understand anything, Dave. When I said that, Dave felt his pride was hurt and started spreading nasty rumors about me throughout the grade. The rumors included all sorts of things, some true and some false, and as a result, I was looked down upon by others. Since I had never been the subject of rumors before, I didn't know how to handle it, and I cried almost every day after coming home. I thought if I cried in front of everyone, it would give them another reason to tease me, so I couldn't do that. Looking back, I should have talked to a teacher sooner, but at the time, I couldn't think of that. I was looked down upon so much that I even started wanting to go to college, but I had told my parents I would join the family business. So I couldn't do that. Unaware of my struggles, my classmates continued to tease me. Everyone in the grade knows about you now. You've become famous thanks to me. If you ever want more rumors spread, just let me know. I never asked you to spread rumors. Why did you do that? It's really unpleasant to hear all these false things from everyone. You look down on me, that's why. If you don't even understand that, you really are useless. With that brain, you'll never make it to college. So just give up. Maybe I'm not smart, but what you did is just too cruel. Spreading false rumors is just awful. If you have complaints, tell me after you get into college. If you ever surpass me, I'll listen to your complaints. Not that it will ever happen. I hate the rumors and want to complain, but I'm not trying to surpass you. I just want to complain now, and I don't care about the future. You don't have to say that. You're giving up from the start because you don't have the confidence to surpass me. Well, someone like you will never surpass me. When I started high school, I never thought I'd have these kinds of experiences. I thought I'd have a fun high school life and happily join my family's business. But reality wasn't that easy. The rumors about me started when I was a freshman, so I had to endure it for 3 years. Still, I believed that once I graduated, I'd have a happy life, so I managed to get through it. During those 3 years, I was constantly looked down upon, especially by Dave, but my family's business was steadily growing. So I wasn't too worried. Also, when I talked about school at home, my dad would dismiss Dave and his crew, which helped me cope. My dad would notice when I wasn't feeling well and would always talk to me and listen to my problems. You seem down. Did something happen? If you're worried about something, tell me. Keeping it inside won't solve anything. It's not something I really want to talk about. You don't have to if you really don't want to, but if you're just being considerate of me, feel free to tell me. I'd actually prefer it if you did. Well, I'm the only one not going to college and planning to join the family business, so I'm getting teased a lot at school. It's been getting pretty intense lately. Your life is your own, so why do they care what you do? Ignore those kinds of people and live the life you want. I try not to let it bother me, but it's really harsh sometimes. There are times when I think about going to college. If you really want to go to college, then go ahead. Our family isn't forcing you to work right after high school. You can work if you want. Or go to college if you want. I'm really happy you say that, but I hate that I'm being influenced by others' opinions. I really do want to start working at our family's company soon. It's so silly that they're saying that kind of stuff in high school. I think it's cooler to live the life you want. So, worry as much as you need to and make the choice you won't regret. Alright, I'll try not to let their opinions bother me. With my dad's support, I decided to stick to my plan. Even so, it didn't mean that people stopped saying things to me. I just tried not to let it get to me, no matter what they said. I thought that as long as I could join the family company, I'd be happy. But reality wasn't that sweet, and things didn't go well even after I finally graduated high school. Just as I was about to graduate, the family business's sales plummeted, pushing it to the brink of bankruptcy. I had always planned to join the family business, so I didn't know what to do. For the time being, I talked to my dad to figure out what to do next. I'm really sorry that the company is in such a state just when you were about to join us after working so hard. I think I'll manage since I've graduated high school, but what's going to happen to the company if this continues? I don't think we'll go bankrupt immediately, but if the decline continues, things will get really tough. So it's that bad. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. I might not be much help since I just graduated, but I'll do my best. You've seen me working since you were a kid, so you know what kind of work it is, right? And just knowing you want to support us makes me happy. I know what kind of work it is, but I have no idea how to actually do it myself. So, I'd appreciate it if you could teach me. By the way, I haven't heard your final decision yet. Do you still plan to work at the company? Given the current situation, you're free to go elsewhere if you want. Don't say such sad things. I've worked hard to join the family business, and I plan to work here for the rest of my life. I hope the company lasts until you retire, but honestly, I have no idea what will happen. It could be gone in a few years. That's the same with any company. If you're that pessimistic, things would only get worse. It might be tough. But let's rebuild the company together. I never thought there'd be a day when you'd be the one comforting me. As a father and as a CEO, I'm glad you're here. With you, I think we can turn things around. Honestly, I had no idea what the future held, but seeing my dad so down, I felt I had to encourage him. I could see from his expression how tough things were, but if I got down too, we'd sink together. So, I decided to work at the family company while encouraging my dad. However, what awaited me at the company was not the ideal work life I had imagined. Because I was the CEO's son, I was kept at a distance and not treated like a proper employee. Sure, it might be hard to deal with the boss's son, but I didn't expect to be treated like this. Especially since everyone had been nice when I visited the company as a kid. The one who hated me the most was Yasmin, the office manager. Must be nice not having to study for exams or job hunt because you have a job waiting for you. I worked really hard to get my job, you know. You wouldn't understand. I do think I'm fortunate, but I plan to work responsibly, so I'd appreciate it if you could be kind to me. You say that, but you must be looking down on us inside, thinking you can't be fired because you're the CEO's son. Why would I feel that way about people at my company? I don't think that at all, and I don't look down on anyone. In fact, you're my superior. And I hope to learn from you. Since you're Mr. Peterson's son, you don't need to learn from me, right? You might as well get direct instructions from Mr. Peterson himself. Why should I be the one to train you? Even if you say that, my dad is busy running the company, and when it comes to the work you do, you're more knowledgeable. Well, I'm not going to teach you anything. Since you're the CEO's son, you must have some talent. Just watch and learn, that should be enough. I see. No matter how much I asked, no one was willing to teach me anything. On top of that, being avoided meant I couldn't even have proper conversations. I thought I could be more friendly, but things turned out completely different from what I expected, and I didn't know what to do. So, I decided to seek advice from my dad, hoping he could teach me how to interact with the employees. Since my dad did the final interviews, I thought he could tell me how to approach them. I was worried he might be confused if I suddenly started complaining, but I didn't have the luxury of time. I really wanted to get along with the employees, learn the job, and rebuild the company as soon as possible. When I invited my dad to dinner to talk, he came without asking any questions. He probably already had some idea of what was going on. Sorry for calling you out suddenly. I wanted to invite you earlier, but I thought it'd be hard to match our schedules. There's no need to worry about that. I'm your dad, it's normal for us to have dinner together. I appreciate that, but tonight I'd like your advice not just as my dad but as the CEO. What's this about? You've only been working for a week and already have issues to discuss? I haven't heard anything from the employees. I'm really glad to be working, but because I'm the CEO's son, I'm being kept at a distance. They're making snide remarks and not teaching me anything. I had no idea that was happening. When did our company become like this? The company I know is a great place with friendly people. Everyone else seems to get along well, but for some reason, they won't befriend me and don't talk to me. I didn't know things were like that. But what can we do to fix it? If I intervene, it might be seen as pressure from above. Yeah, direct intervention might make things worse. It's not like I'm being harassed, so I don't need you to step in. I just need advice on how to handle it. What kind of advice? What do you want me to tell you? I've never had a part-time job and have no experience in the working world, so I don't know how to get along with people at the company. I was also kept at a distance at school, so I can't grasp the sense of distance. This time, it's because you're the CEO's son that you're being kept at a distance. That's something I've never experienced, so it's difficult. But I think time will solve it. I hope so. With that, nothing was really resolved, and I continued working the next day. Since I didn't get any advice, there was no way to improve the situation. I tried various ways to get along with the coworkers, but it was all in vain. Even when I approached them, they treated me as if I were the CEO, responding politely but not warmly. In their position, I might do the same, so I couldn't entirely blame them. Of course, I wanted to be friendly with them, but I realized that was just my selfish wish. So I decided to focus on my work instead of trying to force friendships. The day after I made that decision, Yasmin, annoyed by my increased enthusiasm for work, made another snide remark. You've suddenly started working hard. Did Mr. Peterson tell you the company's in trouble and that you need to work? Otherwise, you wouldn't change so suddenly. He didn't say anything like that. I just decided to focus on my work for now. So you're saying it's our fault? I hate that the CEO's son is so arrogant. Maybe we should quit this company. I'm not saying that at all. I don't intend to be arrogant, but if that's how it seemed, I'm sorry. Apologizing isn't enough. You might not care what happens to this company, but we'd be in trouble if we got fired. I feel the same way as any other employee. That's why I'm trying to work hard. I'd appreciate it if you could work hard together with us. I can't bring myself to work hard for a failing company. If it's going to go under, just tell us already so we can start looking for other jobs. Please don't say such sad things. Let's all work together to save this company. When I said that, she left without saying anything. Everyone knows the company's not doing well. Many employees probably feel the same sense of crisis. But since the company wasn't at the point of bankruptcy yet, I wanted them to try harder. To motivate everyone, I decided to lead by example and work as hard as I could. I believed that if I worked hard, others would be inspired to do the same. However, the more I worked hard, the more Yasmin lost motivation, thinking the company's situation was worse. The worst part was yet to come. My father, who had been working tirelessly, fell ill. Fortunately, his life wasn't in danger, but he couldn't work as he used to. I'm sorry I fell ill when the company is in such a tough spot. The stress has gotten to me, and I need to stay in the hospital for a while. You've been working nonstop as the CEO, so your body must be really tired. Please take this time to rest and recover. But what about the company? For now, I need you to act as the interim CEO. There's no way I can do that. I've only been at the company for a few months. You can work better than I can from a hospital bed. I don't want to entrust our precious company to anyone outside the family. I trust our employees, but the CEO should be family. It's true that handing it over suddenly is concerning. Alright, I'll do my best as the interim CEO. Thus, just a few months after joining the company, I became the interim CEO. My dad told me that since the company was already struggling, I could try whatever I wanted. Even with that freedom, I had no idea how to run a company. I visited my dad in the hospital, seeking his advice while managing the company. I didn't do everything alone, I delegated tasks to longtime employees and focused on overall management. Gradually, I began to see the bigger picture and came up with ideas that might help. Although it felt presumptuous, I shared all my thoughts with my dad, who often praised me. Encouraged by his praise, I started making more proposals. Recently, you've been coming up with some great ideas. I've been a CEO for so long that I've gotten set in my ways. Your fresh ideas are really appreciated. You listen to my opinions without rejecting them, so I enjoy sharing them. Maybe you're more suited to being a CEO than an employee. You could continue being the CEO. Since you started proposing ideas, our sales have been improving. If you say so, I might give it a try. Seeing my ideas positively impact the business has given me confidence. Keep at it for a while. If anything goes wrong, I'll take responsibility. So, under my dad's guidance, I became the CEO. With this new role, Yasmin and the others stopped making snide remarks. It seems they only did that because I was an employee. As CEO, they still kept their distance but treated me more respectfully. Obviously, no one can speak freely to the CEO. Regarding other employees, once Yasmin stopped saying anything to me, no one else would even approach me. However, perhaps seeing my efforts as CEO inspired them, and they started working harder than ever. Thanks to that, our company's performance has been steadily improving. Amidst all this, I received an invitation to a high school reunion. I was surprised since I had been an outcast in high school and didn't expect to be invited, but the invitation arrived at my house. I hesitated but decided to attend since I had a little free time. When I arrived at the reunion venue, there he was, Dave, the last person I wanted to see. Dave noticed me immediately, smirked, and approached me. Looking shabby as always, Mark. You've been working since high school, yet you still dress like a pauper. Why is that? I don't think I look shabby. Of course, you wouldn't. But an elite like me can tell your suit is cheap. Oh, I see. Dave continued to look down on me, making negative comments about my appearance. Seeing him, I realized he hadn't changed at all. I didn't expect him to change, but I was surprised he remained exactly the same. Even though he graduated from Harvard and has been working for a few years, Dave hasn't grown at all. From what I heard, he graduated from Harvard and works at a top-tier company. That doesn't matter to me, but it seems to have made him look down on everyone even more. We went to the same high school, yet there's such a huge difference between us. By the way, all my suits are custom-made. That's impressive. I didn't expect much from this reunion, so I came in my usual attire. I wear custom-made suits even at work. Don't compare me to someone working at a small family business. You wear such expensive clothes at work. I prefer practicality, so I choose suits that are easy to move in. People like you can only work like that. I work at a top-tier company, so I'm not treated like a workhorse. I have a more elegant job than you. Yeah, I've been pretty busy lately, maybe busier than you, Dave. It wasn't like this when I first joined the company, though. While we were talking, Jessica, the class sweetheart, approached us. I had never spoken to Jessica in school, so I was very nervous. I knew who she was, but I didn't think she knew me. However, it seemed she did know me and came over to talk. Mark, I heard your dad collapsed a few years ago. I'm glad he's okay now, but it must have been really tough for you. Yeah, that was a difficult time, probably the busiest time of my life. But things aren't as hectic now, so don't worry. How did you hear about that? A friend of mine works at your company, and I heard about it through them. I see. I didn't expect news about my dad to reach Jessica. As Jessica and I were talking, Dave overheard our conversation and returned, laughing. Apparently, while I was talking to Jessica, Dave had been going around bragging to other people. Your company wasn't that big to begin with, and with your dad down, it must be heading straight for bankruptcy. You shouldn't even be at this reunion. That was a while ago, so we're fine now. I've been able to make some time for things like this reunion lately. You don't need to show off by attending. People would be happier if you didn't show up. Someone like me needs to be here, though. If that's how it is, maybe I'll skip the next one. I don't want to come if I'm not welcome. Well, even if you didn't come, I doubt many would notice. But if I weren't here, everyone would notice right away. Dave kept belittling me, riding high on his arrogance. It seemed he wanted to establish his status by looking down on me. I didn't mind being looked down on too much, but it was a bit uncomfortable to be insulted in front of everyone. However, Dave continued his condescending remarks, completely ignoring my feelings. You should be grateful to be talking to someone from a top-tier company like me. I've been listening to you for a while, Dave, but do you know anything about Mark? What do you mean? He didn't go to college, a nobody. I don't want to waste my brain capacity on someone like him. It seems you really don't know. Mark took over his father's company after he collapsed and is now the CEO, doing quite well. You've got to be kidding. Mark, a CEO? That's a joke. No, a few years ago, my dad collapsed, and I took over as acting CEO. Now, I'm the CEO. Even if you took over, it's still a small company, right? And with your dad collapsing, the numbers must have dropped. So you'll be out of a job soon. You seem to be looking down on Mark a lot, but he started working years before us, so you should show more respect. Why should I respect a high school graduate when I went to Harvard and work at a top-tier company? Dave continued to belittle me, completely ignoring what Jessica was saying. Even after learning that I was a CEO, he kept looking down on the company itself. No matter the situation, Dave had absolute confidence in himself and couldn't stand not looking down on others. Being looked down on didn't really affect me, but I did think his pride was incredibly high. By the way, where do you work, Dave? I've heard about Mark's company. Prepare to be amazed. I work at a company everyone knows, and I'm considered a promising new hire there. Dave then started talking about his company with great enthusiasm. He seemed thrilled to be asked about it and began talking about things no one even asked. So, Dave works there. Are you shocked by how prestigious it is? Well, no matter how hard you try, a high school graduate like you can't get in. You can't even hope to be associated with it, so give up. Actually, I didn't mean that. Recently, my company signed a contract with yours. Mark's company has been growing lately. My relatives mentioned how impressive the performance has been since Mark took over as CEO. Is that true? Why would a company run by him be working with ours? You should just acknowledge how impressive it is. Why can't you give Mark the credit he deserves? Even if there's a contract, it must be for some minor subcontracting work. I'll give you credit for trying, though. No, we got a call from your company, expressing interest in working with us. Mark's hard work as CEO has attracted attention from such prestigious companies. That can't be. Dave, who had been riding high on his arrogance, crumbled to his knees, realizing he had lost. Having made such boastful claims in front of everyone, the embarrassment hit him hard. His face turned bright red, and he covered it with his hands. Realizing everyone was watching him, Dave ran off. Seeing him flee, everyone chuckled. They must have thought Dave's bragging was annoying but listened out of politeness. That's why they laughed when he ran away in embarrassment. If he hadn't been so focused on himself, he wouldn't have ended up like that. I didn't expect things to turn out this way, but thanks to you, Jessica, I think I'll enjoy the reunion. I wanted to thank you, Mark. My relative works at your company, and they always speak highly of you. That's why I sent you the first invitation. So, you're the organizer of this reunion. I was happy to receive the invitation. I'm glad you came. Keep up the good work. I never expected to have such an experience at the reunion. Apparently, Dave had been interested in Jessica, which made his public embarrassment even more painful for him. I thought I'd end up being ostracized, but everyone acknowledged my hard work. Many people seemed interested in my work, and even those I hadn't spoken to in school approached me. It seems that now that we're all adults, they understand the challenges I faced in taking over the company right after high school. I never expected this kind of outcome, so I wasn't sure how to react, but it felt great to be praised for my work. The years after high school were incredibly busy, but things are going well now, and I'm glad I worked hard. There might be tough times ahead, but I believe that hard work will eventually pay off, so I plan to continue giving my all.